I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not I should make a video about about No Way Home. Wasn't entirely sure. But, like, considering the fact that I've, at this point, talked about all the other Spider-Man movies, except for Spider-Verse. I'll talk about that one when Across the Spider-Verse starts coming out, whatever. Since I've already talked about all the other Spider-Man movies, it kind of feels like I might as well talk about No Way Home, complete the cycle. Also, like a lot of other people that you're going to see doing reviews on the YouTubes, this is going to be a spoiler review. I'm not going to talk about this movie without spoilers. Not because I'm like, oh, I don't care or whatever, but just because you kind of can't. It's kind of impossible to really actually talk about this movie without going into the spoiler territory. Because the big stuff that happens is very spoilery. The big stuff that we want to talk about is spoilery. So, like, if you ain't seen the movie and you want to see the movie, you don't want to see spoilers, get the hell out. Get out of here. You can come back later. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Go and get. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the stuff that happens. First off, and of course, just the big thing, the thing that of course everyone wants to talk about, the thing that people were already talking about before the movie came out. All the characters that come back. 3 of them. It's really only 3, but like that, they're still big. I want to talk about the smaller of the 3 cameos first. Calling this the smallest out of the 3 is like saying, "Oh, that's a tall elf." Like, no, that's not a good comparison. Because sometimes elves are human size. Freaking. I didn't want to say tallest dwarf because then I'm referencing Heathers. I didn't want to reference Heathers in this, but I guess it's done. It's whatever. What happened? Whatever. What? So early on in the movie, when everyone is when there's a lot of legal fallout with everyone thinking that Spider-Man killed a bunch of people, Pete has to lawyer up, and he does, and his lawyer is in fact Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, a.k.a. the version of Daredevil that we saw on the Netflix show. Why is my computer frozen? We're fine. I was trying to check and see if my computer was had a different thing running. So I was supposed to press Alt-Tab, but I pressed Alt-F4, forgetting the things. So we're fine. Whatever. We all heard the rumors. We all heard the speculate. We all heard about the leaks and everything that were going around. So a lot of people were expecting Daredevil to show up as Peter Parker's lawyer. It had gotten to the point to where there was a lot less evidence for that. So that's the thing I was less sure about. That's the one that just kind of felt like speculation and wishful thinking and whatever. And now we know the reason for that is because he's barely in the movie. He really is just a cameo. He didn't even suit up. I figured he'd actually suit up. He'd get in the suit. He'd get in the outfit. He'd be Daredevil, but no, he just stays as Matt Murdock, which is fine. Honestly, it's fine. Just him being there is honestly enough. That's already huge enough because him being here in this movie, along with Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin showing up at the end of the last episode of Hawkeye, and he's going to be in the season finale, episode 6. You're gonna be seeing that before you see this video. Not on purpose. That's just how it's gonna be. I don't like it any more than you do. Maybe you don't care. Whatever. But between those two happening, this is straight up telling us, hey, the Marvel Netflix shows actually are still canon. They were always intended to still be canon. The intent when they first started up the Marvel Netflix shows was that they were canon to the MCU. But then the MCU kept going on and never referenced anything that happened in the shows. And the shows kept going and didn't reference anything that was happening in the movies besides the Avengers. Besides the Battle of New York. So it was just kind of a case of, okay, are these canon anymore? Are these canon? Do these matter? Do these matter to the MCU at all? Yeah, it looks like they're canon to some extent. So, cool. I'm just saying that if it's all canon, if all Marvel Netflix, all the Marvel shows are canon, if all of Marvel Netflix is canon, and which is if all of Marvel Netflix is canon to the MCU, and the Marvel Netflix shows are also canon to Cloak and Dagger, and Cloak and Dagger is canon to the Runaways. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just kind of exists. That's a lot we have to work with. It's a lot to work with. You can just reboot the Inhumans. That's what they're called. You just kind of reboot the Inhumans, whatever. No one liked that show. I didn't hate it, but no one liked it. And have the Marvel Netflix library. The one character I think you can maybe recast as Iron Fist. I didn't hate him, but like a lot of people do hate him. And apparently he didn't actually want to go through the effort of learning the martial arts to, make Iron Fist, Iron Fist, the thing that he's known for. Besides the Iron Fist himself, whatever, you get it. So anyways, that's huge. That's a big deal. Freaking Charlie Cox Daredevil just shows up. He's just kind of there. That's awesome. That's dope. Do something with that. Go somewhere with it, please. Keep going. Bring the rest of them. Bring in Luke Cage. Bring in Jessica Jones. They could be in She-Hulk. That'd be cool. That would be really cool, actually. Make that happen, please. The Punisher? Maybe Moon Knight for Punisher. Punisher could show up in Moon Knight. Maybe Miss Marvel runs into Cloak and Dagger at some point, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge. It's not my job to make these movies. I'm just the messenger. Okay, now let's go back to the actual Spider-Man stuff. Okay, so we all know this deals with the multiverse. And because this is a spoiler review, I've already spoiled one thing. If you're still watching this, you're ready for spoilers. It ain't my fault at this point. I gave you your warning. You had your choice to leave, and you didn't leave. So now the spoilers are coming. So the other Spider-Man did come back, which was freaking cool. Which was really freaking cool. It's really freaking dope. Some problems though. I have no issue with the movie itself. The movie itself handled this really well. It would have been cool for that to be a surprise, though. That would have been cool. That would have been neat. If I didn't go into the theater, expecting it, because the internet is freaking douchey. So many leaks and rumors were going around that I got to the point where I was kind of on the fence about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, at this point they're probably gonna show up. But I'm not gonna put my eggs in. I'm not gonna put my eggs in that basket yet. So I wasn't letting myself be excited for the possibility of this happening, because I was trying to keep myself. I was trying to restrain myself, trying to keep myself from actually being excited about it, in case it actually turned out to all be a farce. In case it actually wasn't happening, and because I was retaining that for so long. When it actually did happen, I was excited. I was like, "Oh shoot, they're here! That's cool." But I didn't get to feel the excitement fully like I was supposed to, because of all this, because of everything surrounding it. So the rumors and everything, the speculation, kind of ruined the excitement a little bit for me. Also, my experience in the theater itself wasn't, the greatest. I was in the front row. I was kind of not the front row, but I was pretty close to the front row, off to the side. Very close to the screen, so I'm having to look up like this the entire time, and the screen's like right here in front of my face, and I'm like, oh wait, the thing's over there. Oh dear, I'm having to turn my entire body to try and see something. So sometimes it became difficult to see what the hell was going on screen. And it's hard to be excited about what's going on screen when you can't see the entire screen all at once. That was frustrating. Also, not to mention, I made the dingus mistake of not going to the bathroom before going into the theater. So I really had to go. I really had to pee. So I rushed out of the theater for like a minute. Went to the bathroom, cleaned my hand, and I ran back in, and Andrew Garfield was just on screen. I missed the reveal. Thankfully, that's all that I missed. That's literally it. I literally only missed Andrew Garfield showing up. I saw him there, By the time I got back, he was just already in the house with them. I just didn't get to see him. I just didn't get to see the portal open and him walk through it. So I missed the audience reaction to it. That would have been exciting. I got to see them react to Toby, which was still cool. Like, yeah, this is cool. They're here. They're here. It's dope. So yeah, there just a few things here and there. Overall, kind of soured the experience slightly for me. But I so want to see this movie again without those restrictions, without those things getting in my way, so I can fully enjoy what the movie is. And I think that would be good for me. I really want to do that, but I can't right now. It's unfortunate. I hate being broke. It sucks. But when they are all together, and it's super fun. Super fun to see them all the Peters like in the lab together. It's really nice seeing them all bond over the people that they've lost, these loved ones that they've lost. It was also insanely fun, just about as fun as we all expected it to be, to see them all see them talk about their web shooters and how Toby's the only one that uses organic webbing. Well, you guys can't do that? What? No, what? So how's that work? Do the webs come out of like anywhere else, or just the wrists? And just all these different references to their past movies. That was so fun. That was really freaking good. I loved seeing that. It was so good for me, especially after I had just watched these movies. I had just rewatched these movies and made videos on them. You saw them. Maybe you didn't. Whatever. They're there. All this stuff was still fresh in my mind, for the most part. And so then when the references happened to those past movies, it was so much more satisfying because oh my gosh, I just saw that. I just saw that happen. Honestly, that might have been better than just plain nostalgia. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. And even the villains were really fun. I think seeing these villains again was gonna be freaking dope. Willem Dafoe Green Goblin. People are already saying it. He's freaking dope. He's just as good as he was in the original Spider-Man. It's so, oh my gosh. Can the Spider-Man come out to play? These aren't curses, they're gifts. Freaking Dr. Octopus shows up and he's immediately asking about the machine. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Now it's three times he said it. And it seems pretty clear that I know that people have been questioning some logistics about some of it. Like, fair enough, some of it doesn't make sense because the whole idea is that they're brought over here because they're from reality, because in their realities they know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But Electro never learned that. So why is he here? I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I love Electro. I love Electro in the original in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love that version of Electro. And I unironically love that version of Electro. I honestly wish they kept him blue. I liked him blue. I'll say it. I'll be the only one. I ain't afraid to admit it. I liked blue Electro. I liked blue Jamie Foxx Electro. I thought he was cool. That being said, I really like him here. I really like the way that they used him here. He's really cool. The Lizard and the Sandman are kind of just there, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I ain't mad at it, but they just kind of are there. It is kind of annoying that Sandman is just walking around as a pile of sand the entire time. He never solidifies and goes full just human Flint Marco. That's a little annoying. That kind of bothered me a bit, but it's fine, whatever. But it is also a little disappointing that we didn't get a full Sinister Six. They stopped at 5. There's only 5 of them. I was expecting a 6th person to show up somewhere, but that just didn't happen. You just had to add one more villain. Just one more villain. You didn't have to... Yeah, it didn't have to be deep or anything. You didn't have to go in depth with the character or whatever. The 6th character could have just kind of been there the same way that freaking Sandman and Lizard are. But I guess who would you get? Because they can't just bring in Topher Grace Venom and have him just kind of be in the background. You really can't do that with Venom. If you're gonna bring Venom in, he has to be like the spotlight. He has to be like the villain, really. He has to have a lot of screen time just to himself. They could have brought in New Goblin, Harry Osborn from Spider-Man 3, but then he's gonna have a whole dynamic with his dad as Norman as Green Goblin. That's gonna be too much to add. If they bring in Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's just two Green Goblins. That's confusing. They could have brought in Rhino from the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but that would have been dumb. Also, he didn't even get the chance to know who Spider-Man was. Pretty sure he doesn't know who Peter Parker is. So, like, that really wouldn't have meant anything. So, whatever. Maybe an alternate universe Vulture? Vulture wouldn't have fit here. Vulture would not have fit in this movie. At least not Michael Keaton Vulture. That wouldn't have worked. Tom Hardy Venom wouldn't have worked here either. Although he did get brought over. He got brought over, and we see that in the mid-credit scene. But him being put into the full villain ensemble wouldn't have worked. So I guess I get it. I get why they stopped at 5. But you were so close. You were so close to 6. A sinister 6. They could have just brought in someone different. They could have just brought in a different random character that we know to be a Spider-Man villain. They could have brought in a new version of Scorpion, or maybe a different version of Rhino. Scorpion, Rhino, Mr. Negative. No, that's too much. That's too far. I don't know. I feel like they could have brought in someone. Hammerhead. Could have brought in Hammerhead. Big Wheel. But no, I feel they probably could have found someone, but it's probably safest the way they did it. So, whatever. I don't have any gripes about it. Anyways, this video was all over the place. This is way long. This is a bit longer than I normally do it. But I just wanted to ramble. I just wanted to ramble about this movie. Also another thing. I'm seeing a lot of people. I've seen a bunch of other reviews for the movie. I've seen a lot of people who are kind of saying that this, quote, for lack of a better term, fixed Tom Holland Spider-Man, because at the end of the movie makes it that everyone forgets him, so that then he's kind of reset. So then he's back to basics, and they're like, oh yeah, now finally he's Spider-Man. Now he's real Spider-Man, or whatever. I don't like that sentiment. I don't like the sentiment that he wasn't a proper Spider-Man before. I never liked that sentiment. I always hated that. Like this idea that, oh, Peter is friends with a rich dude. He's not an everyman anymore. Yes, he is. He was totally still an everyman. Yeah, his suit was high tech, but he himself wasn't rich. Like, it's not like he inherited any of the money. He didn't inherit. Tony didn't leave him in his will or anything, except for unless you count Edith. Even still, that's not like that. Whatever. People are reading it differently. I get that. Whatever. But also, no one's highlighting the tragedy of what this is. Freaking his best friend and his girlfriend. They just do not know who he is. That's terrible. I've seen people talk about it, but no one's acknowledging that this is really freaking sad. Oh, that's what Spider-Man is. He's all about tragedy and sorrow or whatever. So, like, whatever. It's better status quo, or this is what Spider-Man should be, or whatever. I get all that. I understand it. But let's acknowledge what's actually but let's still acknowledge what's happening here. This is really freaking sad. Peter's best friend and girlfriend just don't know who he is. And he's on his own. He has no connections, no family. He's literally all alone. I'm not happy about this. Could things still work out for him? Yeah, sure. Whatever happens in the next movie, I'm still going to be excited to watch it. My throat's dry. People are so excited about this. They're like, this is the greatest thing ever or whatever. But it's kind of hard to be happy about this change when it's so sad. This is sad. This is horribly tragic. He literally is all alone. Aunt May is dead. Aunt May is dead. He has no connection to Happy, no connection to Ned or MJ. He has literally no one. I'm not out here trying to say that, oh, this is a bad change. I shouldn't have done this. But what I am trying to say is that I personally cannot be excited about this change because it's so sad, because it's so tragic. I can't be happy and excited about this until I see where they're going to take it. People are already excited about it being like, this is how Spider-Man should be or whatever. And I don't know, man, whatever. Maybe I'm dumb, maybe I'm stupid or whatever. But just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see with it. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know where it could go with this now. Like, who's he gonna fight now? Is he gonna have another love interest? Are they gonna introduce Cindy Moon? We're gonna get Silk? We've never gotten Silk in anything outside, like, the comics. And, like, 1 or 2 games. Silk is very underused. They haven't done anything with Silk whatsoever. So if you could bring in Silk, that'd be dope. I'd watch that. Who's he gonna fight? Now, who's gonna be the villain? Black Cat? You do Black Cat. Yeah, Kraven the Hunter. Big Wheel! There's still Scorpion. He still hasn't properly fought the Rhino in a movie. We still haven't properly seen the Rhino in a movie yet. So there's him. I don't know, man. Silver Sable. That's another one. Wherever they go with MC Spider-Man in the future, it has basically been confirmed that they're gonna do another trilogy with him. No clue where they're gonna take it. No clue what they're gonna do with it. But it's gonna happen. So we'll see. Whatever it is, whatever we get out of it, I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's gonna be freaking dope. Just whatever. I don't know what it's gonna be though, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna end the video now. I've been talking for too long. We're done. Goodbye. See you. Oh, jeez.